in my quest to find the ideal handheld to mix retro gaming and kind of on the fly, I guess, PC, Xbox, PS5 gaming for those, specific one-off special occasions. I've been trying to go through different handheld devices. As you guys know, I, for myself, got the RG40XXH here, which the previous video was on. It's a very cool device. I haven't posted yet how it looks with MUOS, and honestly, it's a huge upgrade. I'll probably do another video on that coming up soon really quickly here. In doing this, I have taken on basically modding for other people, and a client of mine so graciously is allowing me to present this on my channel. So I have here, it's the Retroid Pocket 4 Pro. So this is essentially, it's an Android device, which is super cool because you can pretty much install anything you want on it. I'm going to go over the specs for it in a little bit, but essentially, right, today we're going to unbox this, and outside of the recording, I'm going to add some stuff to it for the client, and then we're going to kind of run through it and see how well it's able to handle those things all the way up to the Nintendo 3DS and the Switch. Because it's an Android device, I am able to put a Switch emulator. Now, I will say all of the games that I will be putting on this device, I have and own. In fact, I will be putting the game box next to it so that Nintendo doesn't come after me. But I do want to show that it can actually handle that. So that's what we're going to do today. So let's go ahead and let's get into the unboxing. All right, so I have the box here. So we're going to go ahead and unbox this and kind of take a look at the device. We won't be modding this one since it is an Android device. I mean, pretty much just as powerful, if not more powerful than a modded device. So I have actually never even held one of these in my hand. So there is the box here. Let's see if I can get it out without messing anything up. I'll set this cardboard box over here. We don't need it anymore. The Retroid Pocket. This is a Pro. I think it's the 4, if I'm not mistaken. Pretty fancy. And just like the Abernic device, it has a nice little cushion on top of it so that doesn't get scratched. There's that. The watermelon color. Basically just like a transparent red. What the client asked for. All of this stuff out of the way. And of course, after I've set this up, I will be giving it back in all of the original packaging. Here's the user manual. The RP4 Pro comes with an MTK D1100 processor. We got a 2.6 gigahertz CPU, which is actually pretty good. The GPU, 836 megahertz, but it's an MC9. 8 gigabytes of RAM, 128 gigabytes of storage, has active cooling, which is a really cool thing to have. It's a touchscreen, 720p, has Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, a Type-C, obviously, and a micro HDMI. Most of these come with that. Android 13, so it's a newer Android, 5000 mega amp. So this is like literally a phone, essentially like an Android phone that we're using here with kind of a better GPU and a lot more RAM. It's pretty lightweight, to be honest. 261 grams is pretty lightweight. And here is the charging cable, just a standard USB-A to USB-C. Let's go ahead and let's open this up and see what we're getting ourselves into here. Look at this. Look at this. I actually really like this color. I like this color. I like the feel of the analog sticks. It has like a bevel on here that fits perfectly and allows my thumb to sit perfectly on the device. We have the L1, R1, and the triggers. The triggers here on this one, compared to what I felt, are okay. The spring is too tough. I mean, you can see how quickly it comes back. I prefer softer springs. But other than that, really cool device. Let's see if we can hear it on the microphone. So you can see very, very, very loud compared to some of the other devices. And then the clicking of the L1 and R1. Also very light. And then the buttons feel really nice on this. Start and select, and then home and back buttons. Okay, so that's what we got here. So let's go ahead and let's try and power this on. I'm assuming these are the volumes and this is the power. So let's go ahead and hold this down. And it has a vibrating function. So it vibrated as soon as I held it down. There it goes. Retroid Pocket 4. The screen looks really clear. Again, it's pretty lightweight. I will say where the triggers are is adding a little bit of weight. Welcome to Retro Pocket 4 Pro. So in the initial setup here, you get to kind of choose what emulators you would like to have on the device. Really awesome. So I don't have to go and search for these. That could be tedious. While not difficult, it can be very tedious. I'm going to do Citra. Citra is going to be mostly used for DS emulation, but honestly, it's going to be used for Nintendo 3DS emulation. So I'm going to do Dolphin as well. Dolphin for handheld. I'll say N64. PPSP is a definite yes. RetroArch, of course. Steam Link, which is amazing. So we'll start there, but I think that's a good starting point. So this looks like we can pick between two launchers. This is up to you. The AOSP launcher looks pretty cool, but I think I'm going to stick with the RP4 Pro launcher. Again, this could be changed after the fact. I don't think this really matters. So it's literally an Android phone, you guys. This is exactly what an Android UI looks like. I mean, you have pictures here. You can even go to a browser, which is amazing because I can just download the emulator, or sorry, the ROMs directly to the device. So that is game changing. But this is really cool. I mean, look, it's a touchscreen. I can go into RetroArch here if I wanted to, right? And I can load a bunch of cores on here that I know this person's going to want to use. Download a core. This person specifically would like to have a bunch of the Sony PlayStation stuff. So PlayStation Portable. I'm going to probably have to install the PlayStation 2 emulator on here myself, because it looks like RetroArch doesn't come with it. I've actually installed quite a few games on here. Before I get ahead of myself here, I'm gonna go ahead and kind of show you guys what we got. So first of all, the analog stick here will quickly go through, but again, it's a touch screen, which is easier. Some of the main emulators I put on here, like I said before, is going to be Dolphin emulator, RetroArch, Citra, Dolphin, Steam Link, Citra, PPSP, N64, and Yuzu. Let's go through and do the most labor intensive ones. So we're going to start here with Yuzu. All right, so we have Pokemon Arceus and Pokemon Sword. Exactly what I'm looking for. Yeah, so let's go ahead and let's load Pokemon Arceus and see how this plays on here. This is what's going to be pretty interesting. It didn't load. All right, so we're here. We got Pokemon Sword. So I can go into settings and turn off the overlay, essentially. But so for the sake of time, I'm just going to pick something. You're going to see a little bit of frame drop, which is normal. This is going to be normal for a lot of the Switch emulation. But as you can see, it does play the Switch. This is more labor intensive for this device. So I didn't expect this to play this extremely well, but my PC even has a little bit of trouble with emulating the Switch. It's a fairly new system, and it does take a lot of power to emulate. But real quick here, I'll get through this beginning so we can kind of see some gameplay and see what that looks like. I'm actually in some gameplay here on Pokemon Sword, and just to kind of show you, there is a FPS counter up here, so you can kind of see if we're getting any frame drop. It seems to be, for the gameplay portion, not too bad. I mean, like I said, we're gonna get a little bit of frame drop. We're getting under 30, which is not ideal, but for emulating a Switch, it's actually not too bad in my opinion. So that was Yuzu. That was the Switch emulator. Again, not too surprised on a little bit of the frame drop on there. But here's the one that I want to check out. I was able to check out the Nintendo 3DS emulation through Citra on the device. Alpha Sapphire ran without a hitch. There were few frame drops throughout the playthrough, but honestly, it wasn't even something that was noticeable or made it unplayable. Citra is a great emulator, and honestly the only emulator I use for 3DS, and it seemed to be able to handle it without many issues. Obviously, in Citra settings, you can go ahead and change settings to make it to where it runs a little bit smoother if you wish. But honestly, default settings seem to be working pretty fine on the Retroid Pocket 4 Pro. I also did test out the PPSSPP emulator, which is emulation for PSP. I found that there was no frame drop emulating God of War. In fact, it was so good that I did not want to stop playing. Probably the best emulation for this device at this current moment, at least for me, would be the PS2 emulation and the PPSSPP emulation. Overall, I think the Retroid Pocket 4 Pro is a really good device, especially if you want to mix retro gaming with your current PC gaming in a nice little handheld. It's obviously not as good as the Steam Deck, which is built for PC gaming and streaming cloud gaming through a handheld device, but this is a great cost-effective alternative. The fact that it runs on Android is a really cool thing because it's really easy to just pull in those applications that you might have even already paid for, like I have myself, for instance, for Drastic and other apps like that. All in all, I do recommend this to pretty much anybody who's looking for a nice handheld to bridge the gap between retro gaming and PC gaming. It's one of those devices that's kind of a good all-encompassing thing for the casual gamer. Alrighty, so if you like this video, make sure that you like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I have one more device coming in that I'm hoping to do an unboxing and kind of talk about the specs just like this one. So if you do like this content, it really does help my channel out if you like and subscribe. So please make sure you do that. Also, in my profile on YouTube at the bottom, you'll see all my other channels. This is actually a secondary channel. I have a main channel where I do a lot of reactions and things of that nature. So if you would love to check that out, that would be awesome. And again, thank you so much. Happy gaming.